Hey there gang, what's up and welcome back to another video on Streaming Star. Let me start by saying that if you haven't watched the movie yet, then you'll get to see a lot of spoilers in this list. So, go ahead and watch the movie already. This list will explain all the major mistakes people failed to notice in the 2009 Star Trek movie, so tag along for more info. But before we get rolling, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you can catch up on all the latest videos we put out in the future. Let's get to it, guys. Mistake 10. Captain Robau's vanishing emblem. A major mistake that barely anyone would have noticed is the vanishing emblem of Captain Robau. Though since the emblem is quite shiny, people might have noticed it on their own, but I'm sure since no one watches the movie this closely, the chances of people noticing such a minor thing are very slim. When they first show you Captain Robau in the standing position, the emblem is visible to everyone, but as soon as he sits on the chair and the cameras focus on his character, you just cannot see the emblem on him anymore. This might be because of the fact that these scenes might have been recorded at two different timings. Thus, Captain Robau might have forgotten to wear it for the second time. But no matter what the case is, there is undeniably a mistake in the scene. Mistake 9. Captain Kirk's hands change position. You guys must remember the scene where Captain Kirk jumps from his very cool and super antique car. That particular scene had a lot of action involved, and that may be the reason why a lot of people skipped on this major mistake that the directors made. When you first see Captain Kirk jumping out of the car, you could see that one of his arms extends towards the air. But just as soon as the cameras change position, Captain Kirk's hands change position as well. And now, both his arms are next to his chest. Now, since that was basically supposed to be the same scene, no one can go on saying that Captain Kirk might have folded his arms while jumping. Mistake 8. Bones' seatbelt changes position. Leonard McCoy, otherwise known as Bones, is visibly scared of flying. That is simply apparent from his facial expressions and the way he talks to his superior, Captain Kirk, while he buckles up his seatbelt. But the thing is that while buckling up the seatbelt, the directors made a huge mistake. Bones' seatbelt changes positions when the cameras change. This could be because the scene could have been recorded in two different goes, but regardless of that, the position of the seatbelt does not remain the same when the cameras change their angle. I really think that major movie franchises like Star Trek should hire people separately to look into possible mistakes like these. Mistake 7. Nero's lip tattoo. Nero is one of those characters that you could easily spot whenever you see them on the screen. The major reason why I say this is because of the tattoos he's got all over his body, especially his face. The black colored tattoos fill up his entire face, which kind of resonate a lot with his character on the show, so kudos to the producers on that. You must all be wondering what mistake there possibly could be about Nero's tattoos. Well, the thing is, Nero's tattoos don't remain consistent throughout the movie, where some scenes have his facial tattoo reaching his lips, while the other ones don't have that. Makeup artists should look closely at this one. Mistake 6. Captain Pike's hands. Another example where the cast of the Star Trek movie couldn't figure out where they had kept their hands is this situation where Captain Pike's hands positions change just as the cameras focusing on him change. At first, it seems that Captain Pike had kept his hands on his lips, but right after the cameras shift, suddenly, Captain Pike's hands get crossed over his stomach. If anyone comes up and says that this might have happened because there was a time interval between those shifts, then he is totally wrong. It was meant to be the same exact scene with different angles, not a continuation of the preceding scene. Mistake 5. Uhura and Spock standing next to each other. Another mistake that must have been apparent to anyone looking closely was how Uhura and Spock were at first standing very close to each other, but as soon as the camera changes angle, the two of them get very far apart. This scene takes place when Spock discovers the Romulans' plan and the rest of the crew are discussing their future workings. This simply is a mistake and nothing else. because there's just no other way through which the two of them would have gotten so far apart within a few split seconds. Moreover, no one is seen moving either, and them transporting makes no sense over here, so the franchise has to accept its mistake over here again. Mistake 4. Captain Kirk becomes second in place while he jumps. Coming to this mistake, I'm quite sure that if the final proofreaders of the movie would have done their work correctly, then such a colossal blunder wouldn't have taken place. This simply happens to be something they cannot deny. So the mistake happens to be in the scene where Captain Kirk, Sulu, and the other guy jump from the starship. When the cameras show the three of them falling from the Enterprise, Captain Kirk happens to be in first place, or in other words, right in the front. But as soon as the cameras show you the projector screen inside the Enterprise, you see that Kirk is now in second place. Mistake 2. Captain Kirk's hand changes position again. One thing that the Star Trek franchise messed up pretty badly at was the hand positions, where the cast members just couldn't remember where they initially had kept their hands. This time, Captain Kirk, while battling Sulu, was not able to completely hold ground, and thus he needed some pulling from Captain Pike. Initially, the cameras show Kirk using his right hand to grab onto the floor, but as the cameras start giving a rare view, that hand changes to left. If you don't get the mistake in this scene, you probably might have to watch the movie all over again, but be sure you fully focus when this part comes up. Mistake number 1, and we have a hat trick, folks, as Captain Kirk changes his hands for the third time. As I clearly said earlier, the Star Trek franchise should really start focusing on their cast members to remember how they had kept their hands whenever they plan on making new movies. Once again, I'll be pointing out to Captain Kirk's hands' position changing just as the cameras change the angle. In this scene, where Captain Kirk falls and grabs the floor for support, he uses both of his hands, but as soon as the cameras shift to the sky view, we can see Kirk using just one of his hands. And right after that, when the camera changes its view again, Kirk is seen using both of his hands like he was doing before. How off. All of this could have been resolved if Star Trek would have hired people like us to figure out their mistakes in the movie. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, do let us know by hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel for more juicy content in the future. We'll be seeing you guys in another video real soon. Until then, take care and goodbye.